Hello, everyone. Daryl Johnson with Allen Rice Randolph. Today, we want to take a few minutes talk about freight dispatch. So, motor carriers, we're out here on the roads looking for loads, trying to make money, and a lot of times we'll have internal dispatch. Some drivers will self dispatch, or we may hire people to handle the freight dispatch effectively. We have trucks and we need loads. So those trucks need to be dispatched to those available loads. So here I wanted to talk about a few things to consider when working to dispatch a truck. A lot of people say, oh, the first thing to look for is the rate. I would probably argue against that and say the first thing you want to look at is the credit of the broker. When you go to load boards, any good load board, they're going to give you some information about that broker's credit, how, and it's usually going to be rated around the number of days they wait to pay an invoice. The more days, the lower the credit rating. Um, a lot of motor carriers will factor the invoices for their loads. Here, with RTS, one of the larger factoring companies, you'll see they have a scale on how they use, how they grade the brokers. Those brokers that aren't A, B, or C graded, yeah, you're not getting that quick pay on those invoices that you factor with RTS. So the first thing you always want to check is the credit of the broker. If their credit is not uh, up to par, you have to make a personal decision on whether or not you want to work with them and risk maybe getting, maybe not getting paid. Have to go through whatever the process is when you don't get paid, or maybe having to wait quite a while to get paid. That's something everybody has to determine on their own. Obviously, one of the next big considerations is going to be the rate per mile. So you want to get paid and paid properly for the work you do. But something else people don't also consider is the dollars per day. Certainly, you want whatever rate per mile is appropriate for the type of work you're doing, but you also don't want to get stuck with a load where you pick up on Monday. It pays the rate per mile, but you can't deliver until Friday. So it's only, 500 miles. Well, it doesn't take Monday through Friday to drive 500 miles. So now you're stuck with this load for 4 days or however long it is. Um, if you also factor in dollars per day, say for instance, maybe you want to make $2.50 a mile, but you also want to make, if you're doing, 500 miles a day, you want to make or $2 a mile, you want to make $1,000 a day. That's your goal. So when you see a load that might be paying a very good rate per mile, but when you do the math on dollars per day, you'll find out that the dollars per day is pretty low because you're being forced to sit on a load for a couple of days. There's plenty of other things as well. Weather, always good to have a good map to get a feel for where the snow is. Along with weather, you want to consider terrain. If you got a lot of weight, you might not want to be climbing a lot of mountains. If you don't have any weight, you might want to avoid some of the states where it's really flat and there's a lot of wind. You don't want to end up on your side. Um, the distance and the day of the week. If it's Wednesday and you do 500 miles a day and you take a load that is 2,000 miles, well, that's going to put you somewhere on Saturday or Sunday. Are you going to be able to find a load out wherever you're going on Saturday or Sunday, or are you going to have to wait till Monday morning to find something? So you got to keep in taking account distance and time of day. Similarly with delivery time, if you have a delivery at 3 p.m. on Friday and you don't know how long it's going to take for them to unload, the brokers are going home at 4, 5 o'clock, Eastern time or whatever. So if you haven't found a load that's picking up late that evening on a Friday, which may be difficult to do, you may want to consider whether that load is worthwhile. If you end up getting stuck till Saturday or maybe until Monday, having to wait to Monday morning for a load that delivered too late on a Friday. So the delivery time matters. A couple other things: the number of stops. Do you want to be, if the unload times are long, maybe you don't want a lot of stops, but maybe the unload times are short and you don't mind it and it's paying to take the number of stops, several number of starts in consideration. That's shown into the rate that they're giving you. And the equipment. If you're doing flatbed and all you have are straps, well, you You don't want to take loads that require tarps or things like that. So take that to consideration as well. And another thing, to look into, you can go on Google, you can find a shipper or receiver, and a lot of times you can scroll down, you'll see the reviews, and people will tell you, hey, I got in here, I got out, or I got in here and they took forever and there was this crazy situation. But if you have the time, to negotiate a load, it may be good or worth your while to take a look at those reviews and see, do I really want to get stuck here for 4 hours at a shipper where, 7 out of the past 10 reviews in the past week or month or whatever it is have said this isn't the place you want to be. So again, altogether, just a quick slide here on things to consider when you're working to be a freight dispatcher. Thanks again, Alan Rice Randolph. Check us out.